You know, my children don't know much about my father at all.
Well, he was a worker.
Yeah, he was.
He was a worker. He was determined. It was hard on him. He come up and go into Chapel Hill in hard times, and Papa lost everything he had in the bank. So Creighton just had to do the best he could. And Mama would sell eggs and butter and ham and things to give him when he come home. And he never called. He bummed.
He bummed.
He always bummed.
Bummed.
Mm-hmm.
And one Sunday, somebody found him behind his barn. He was crying because he didn't have a penny for him. But he was determined to be a good doctor, and he was one. We found that out through a lot of friends of ours up there. They said good things about him, could make a good. And the clinic that he had, he was doing so good. But
When I went to Nellie's funeral, she said, well, half the people in this town are named Creighton, after your daddy.
Really? Isn't that nice?
yeah, we all lived across the creek there. We say there's used to be a creek, and everybody that lives over there, they're across the creek because it's different.
Like
and
another world.
They say that across the creek, we were across the creek, but Mama come from over across all that way. She had 2 sisters and 2 brothers, Uncle Sidney and Uncle Waylon, and Aunt Agnes. And Aunt Agnes and her husband bought land. Now, Mama was 46 when she died. Her birthday was the 13th of June. And she died the 26th of June. And Creighton was with her when she died.
Oh, who's Uncle Zeke?
Uncle Zeke was Mama's great uncle. And he lost his wife kind of early. He had 2 children. A daughter lived in Washington, and that was married a kind of a famous man. He would go up there. He didn't like it a bit because he chewed tobacco and he couldn't go far. He had to spit. He liked the country because he said, I don't want to go to Washington. Kara makes me use a spit tube, so I'm used to go outdoors.
I remember Uncle Clifford with that.
Yeah,
He chewed tobacco.
He's got him in the habit.
Uh-huh.
And I reckon it cured him. I don't know what it did or not.
Okay.
Is that Uncle Creighton
Oh, look at that.
and Uncle Clifford?
I have some
think
pictures
so.
I want you to
No,
identify
no,
too.
That's Uncle Clifford. So he was the oldest.
I don't know who that other one is.
Do you remember that
Love this. Now, where's the, is this,
Yeah, that was a home place.
oh, look.
up at Gwen's?
That was before
Yeah.
they built.
That's Gwen's house now. Is that right?
Front. That's Gwen's,
Huh?
where Gwen lives now.
Yeah, that's Quinn's house. Ah, now look at that. Now,
It's the same thing, it blowed up, so I can see.
now what were they like? What was your daddy was called Callie,
That's,
right?
his name was Leonard,
Calvin Leonard, but they called him Leonard?
and they called him Callie,
Callie.
yeah, I know. And Creighton, he didn't have a middle name.
Right.
Well, Mama always says how scared grandmother was of thunder and lightning. That she
Yeah.
used to go lay on the bed.
And want somebody to lay down with her
Sudie's with the same
and
way.
tell her when
Afraid of lightning.
it lightened so
And
that
so
she
it's
could be
gonna rain.
prepared for the thunder.
And your mother, you told me, didn't eat beef, and she'd eat.
She didn't eat any wild meat, and she didn't like beef, didn't eat beef.
She'd
But she
eat
ate
chicken.
in pork, and we
And she was very superstitious.
yeah, she was. If you see a sundog, you know what a sundog is?
Huh.
Well, in the afternoons, usually in the afternoon, between 4 and 5 o'clock is what, usually. And Ethel said she'd never seen them. I can't understand why. She's older than I am. But I've seen, I reckon 50 or something in my lifetime, and see them if we're going to have some bad weather. And usually there is a change in weather.
It has the appearance of a rainbow, but not across the sky. It'll be in one area.
And it's kind of a blood.
It's kind of a blur, but it'll look like a rainbow, but just in one small location. They call it
It's
that.
kind of
over
orange,
west.
orange and yellow a little bit. It doesn't have any blue. But you can usually tell. As soon as I see it, that's a, it don't stay more than 5 minutes.
Yeah, I don't.
Oh, how interesting.
And she wanted Papa
Very
to
intuitive.
plant corn certain times of the moon, kill hogs certain time of the moon.
But rural society in those days operated a lot like that. They'd set things on the moons, on the different.
And so you said that grandmother always, like on, she didn't want to go somewhere and do. And so you said that grandmother always, like on, she didn't want to go somewhere and do something fancy when there were people that were working for her
Mama was simple,
around the house.
very simple, and she didn't want
Or be
anybody.
showy.
Did not want a woman to come to see her on New Year's Day. She even the tenants, she'd tell them, she said, "You can come anytime you want to, but don't come to see me on New Year's Day. It's bad luck. If a man comes first, it's all right, but she still didn't want that woman to come."
Isn't that interesting? Yeah, there's got to be a reason to that.
Now, what was her maiden name? What family did she come from?
Young,
Youngs.
Y-O-U-N-G, Young. I was named after my grandmother, my daddy's mother.
Susanna.
She was on her deathbed. I was born, and they did not give me a name, my birth, at that time. My doctor delivered me. And when I got my birth certificate, I had no name. Her name is Susanna Hawkins Wrenn. Susanna is my name, and her name was Susanna. Hawkins was Mama's grandmother's name.
Sturdivant. Hawkins Sturdivant, I think, right?
Well, one of them, yeah. So, you know, I was the youngest one, so. And
That's Callie, I understand, right there. Your daddy.
no, this is my daddy.
Oh, look at that.
And this was Uncle
Let's
Milton.
see, this
and
is
he
great,
died
'cause I
before
had
he
the
was
wrong
ever married.
information.
That's Aunt Murdy,
Okay.
Aunt Lula, Aunt Maud, and Letty, I believe it was, but I never knew her. She died. This was left and that's Grandmama. That's Grandmama. And that's Sim. And this one died as a child. Crazy thing, that was flood. We thought that was all they built. Then they kept building on as the children were born and all. But going for pleasures, we didn't do anything. We played hopscotch and marbles and things like that. Anything, be good. We would wrap up our back, and somebody, back then, they'd aim at us. But after the children came, and Clifford was the older one, so after then, Papa, well, I don't know that much about it, 'cause I heard he wanted to build a house, so that's what he did. And I think it was 2 or 3 little simple things. Talk about the yard. Now, that was part of it. And when Papa and Mama got married, they lived in a little house in the field. It was torn down. I never did see it.
Here, near here? I mean, near
It was
this?
behind where we lived now.
Okay.
Gwen lives now. But anyway, Dwight went in service for 3 years, and then real cozy, had a chimney, and a little chimney in the kitchen, and boys. But even when Dwight and myself got married, we didn't have a bathroom. We didn't, and we had a little Johnny outside, and it was a little tenant house Dwight's dad had, but they fixed it up real nice, put wallpaper in, and it was bathrooms, running water, anything. But we did have a Delco. I think we were the first ones in our community that Papa did have. It didn't have any grass in our yard.
Didn't?
No, didn't have any. We swept it. We had 2 colored girls in the neighborhood that would go to the woods and get dogwood. That's what it was, to make brooms out of, and they would sweep our yard once a week. And they didn't want money. They wanted clothes.
Really?
Clothes to be paid, because they get more clothes, worth it than their money was. Things like that. And of course, when we were growing up, nobody had
Thing that she did.
Picture right here that
And
that
that's
Aunt
big.
Charlotte painted of me. I mean, a big
Do
portrait.
you have it?
I do. It's down at the house, and I thought about getting that out and bring it.
That she,
But she put like this color, like the limey
She did?
green, instead of the navy
Peggy,
blue
and that's
jumper.
Peggy when she was.
But I'm so proud of that. I mean, she did all that and
Yeah,
had it
too.
framed and everything. That was my Christmas gift.
I had
I mean, that
no
was.
idea
See,
that you
she
got
has.
that now.
She has artistic
I
talent. I
have
have a
forgotten.
few half-finished
Oh,
things that she did, but I don't have anything.